students, welcome to the series on advertising. Today we are going to study unit 4 and in this we will cover impact of advertising on sales. Now let us study the objective of this lecture. The basic objective of this lecture is to study the impact of advertising on sales of the company, the impact of advertising on branding for the company to build sales volume. Now let us study something about advertising and sharing. Build something 100 people love, not something 1 million people kind of like. A quote by Brian Chesky, the co-founder of Airbnb. Marketing is really just about sharing your passion. Michael Hyatt, the virtual business mentor. So what is advertising? It is a kind of a sharing. You need to build love. That is, people need to love you so much that they are ready to invest in your product or services. If you are creating 1 million fans, that is just they are liking, they are not buying. So, the power of advertising is to create at least 100 customers who can actually love you. So, that will be more powerful than creating 1 million likes. So, advertising has to go to that level where it forces people to buy your services. That is a difficult thing and that is advertising is focusing on. Now, advertising impacts relationship and growth. It is advertising creates strong customer relationships drive which can force to increase the sales of the company, which can build sustainability and give growth to the company. Relationships and growth in this way have been defined by Tom Cates, the founder of the Brookside Group. So, relationships can give you sales because relationships create trust and they give you investment from the customers. Now, let us study the impact of advertising on sales. It sensitizes members of the marketing channel, it helps to reduce the consumer dissonance, it creates awareness, it creates positive word of mouth, it attracts consumers to the retail channels and it increases sales. Now, what is advertising doing? It is solving the problems of the channel members. Who are the channel members? They are the wholesalers, dealers, the retailers. Otherwise, all the wholesalers, retailers who are in lakhs in market, they are surviving with their own individual setups and with the own individual power of money investment which they have invested in the stock. They had to invest separately on advertising. But if company takes up that power of advertising, it solves the problems of the whole distribution channel because they have to speak less. The customers will be pushed to the channel because they are attracted by the advertising. So, advertising directly impacts the sales because it is reducing the power of convincing for the channel members because advertising has done that function. It creates a positive word of mouth and builds trust where the consumers come to the channel and buy your products without questioning. So, this is the great power which advertising has to serve and has to do for all the members of the society. Advertising and brand equity. Using more classes of product including the services, connecting to various subjects and other cultures, coordinating effects of price, place, product and promotion, creating a positive mental image of the company. Now, brand equity, if it is higher, obviously the sales are more, that is the investments are more, your book value is also increased. So, your asset valuation is increased. So, advertising would impact the brand equity which will give you the organic growth in terms of sales and will also give you a growth in terms of credibility of the name in the market. That is, how can you do it? When you incorporate more classes of the product, that is, you segment the product to a larger segment of the society who are able to buy your product because everybody in the society would speak about you. So, you have to cater to many segments of the society, you have to give more services to the people because people who are impacted by these services would also speak about your brand, like how brand is moving and creating brand equity. See, suppose if Birla is a business group, but it is investing in Birla Mandirs. So, people if they are going to temples are also associating with the name of the company. So, the brand gets the power of being spoken about. So, temples are not giving you revenues, but they are giving organic growth of credibility and faith to the company, where the customers are reaching the temples and the beauty of the temple is also attracting the audiences. Impact of media on sales. Data and technology have helped in connecting elements of targeting, reach and regency to increase sales through a campaign. The effect of media on sales has increased to 36% from 15% over the past 11 years. These are the results which are shown by the data, that if advertising is done for particular products and services, the growth has increased for the company, where you can see how data has been customized and is reaching to the customers' handsets through various channels. That is, you have mobiles, you have internet and you have laptops, by which we are connecting to people, and we are customizing the messages according to the season and according to the months and to the other areas of customers' taste and preferences, and designing things according to their values. Now, let us see the advertising response, which is a relationship of advertising with the sales. We will see how do we invest money in advertising. Here we have y axis and x axis. On y axis we have plotted sales, and on x axis we have advertising. You see this response function which is increasing. First it is increasing, but then it has become little bit constant, that is, it follows the diminishing law. What is diminishing law? First is increasing efficiency on ad budget, the level becomes sufficient to be heard. This is the diminishing return on incremental spending. Now, initially when the company is launching an ad and is promoting a product in the market, you will see an impact on the sales, because the product is new and the advertising has spoken. But after a level, when the product is accepted by the people, it is automatically bought. So, the extra money which you are investing on advertising is not giving you the same level of change in the sales, because already the people who needed the product have bought it. Now, this level of investment in advertising is giving you incremental changes in sales. So, the response function of advertising follows the diminishing law of economics, which is after a certain level of investment, the advertising will not give you those benefits which it was initially giving. So, it is initially when you invest in advertising, it follows a direct proportion, that is, higher you do investment, higher is the sales, but after a level the sales will not be as much as in the beginning years. The quality of campaign and sales lift. The quality of campaign can make advertisements more creative. Sales lift is attributed to media of televisions for digital campaigns. This is a data collected from www.nielsen.com, a figure of 2017. So, the quality of campaigns, if they are very good and very beautiful, they give a sales lift to the company, that is, they increase the sales. If you give a good incentive and a promotion, then obviously people are attracted to these things. Like you have seen successful sales campaign of Flipkart, which was the billion sales in one day, and you have Amazon sales and other companies sales, which through their creative advertising and their creative messages try to attract the audiences in a good way. Sales volume. Sales volume is measured in total dollars or number of units sold in a fixed period of time. Brands can achieve stronger perceived value to increase the volumes. Consumer demand can increase to give higher sales volume and profits. Now, it depends on the investors and the sponsors how they manipulate the consumer demand. Festivals demand is always high. So, you can add up more product models and add up more new additions to the market, which will automatically be accepted. When there are off seasons and customers are not investing, you can go for a sales promotion. The sales promotion can attract the audiences and invest in your products and services. So, the sales lift obviously can be designed through a beautiful ad campaign. Brand and perceived value. Now, advertising can translate sales to higher turnover if other factors exist in the market, like goodwill, product availability and accurate pricing. You have designed a very beautiful campaign, but if it will only work if other factors are present in the market. if the product is not available and the product has lost reputation in some case, then obviously your ad campaign will fail. So, it is not only the creative team who is responsible for designing a good campaign to lift up the sales, but the company also has to give a quality and a price and associate itself with the positive trust of the customers. Advertising is the soul of business. Advertising can enhance product demand, but not infinitely. It resonates with the macroeconomic law of diminishing returns. Advertising can do good to you, but it cannot carry your sales to infinite level, because there is a level till where the power of the advertising can work. After a level of your sales and your volume, even if you double your advertising budget, it will not give you the results in a direct proportional. Maybe there is a saturation level and a maturity of market demand till where it can work. Advertising influences or advertising influencing the purchase behavior of people. Consumers' purchase decision is influenced by effective advertising, value they feel about a particular product or service, and it is the quality and the price. So, advertising influences the purchasing power of the audiences. That is, if you give good advertising, people will react to it. That is, they will try to design a value, how much they are investing and what is the kind of return they are getting for the product. So, this will be a relationship of the product with the price. Now, let us study advertising and awareness. The impact of advertising strategy can be on firm's profitability, marketing communication, awareness, building a long lasting relationship. So, sales is a figure which has to be achieved by advertising, but you have other benefits which are created by advertising, that it communicates with the audiences, it builds relationships, and it also confirms to the firm's profitability, obviously because good brand equity can create good asset valuation for the company. The intangible wealth of the company definitely is going to increase if it is a trusted ad and if it connects with the audiences. Now, let us study the relationship between advertising and market share, that is the effects of advertising. Let us see. We have two axes, that is on y axis and x axis we have plotted different parameters. On x axis we have plotted the money spent on advertising, and the on y axis we have return on advertising expenses in terms of market shares. Here you see, first the graph is down and then it is going up, that is it is a S shaped curve. It is building the sales and building the share, that is it is increasing. But then in the second half it is maintaining, because this is the maturity and this is the advertising response functions. So, advertising initially is going to increase your sales, but in the later part of the investment in advertising would help you to maintain that level of market share in the industry. If you are not going to invest in this part of the phase of the maturity of the products, obviously you can lose it. So, it is important for companies to increase and to maintain the sales. So, for both the phases they have to invest in advertising budgets, but the advertising budgets can obviously be reduced in the later part of the growth when the company has achieved a certain level of comfort. Advertising can create a powerful brand. Strong brand can help in establishing company and it can support sales expansion. Advertising can also help in brand development, business leverage, competitive advantage and give value to the company. So, advertising creates brand, it builds personality, it builds a identity. So, the brand identity can obviously carry the image of the company to the audiences, where it establishes the expansion and growth in the market, establishes development of products and models, gives value so that the company can invest in research and development. The R&D department can only work if brand has credibility in the market. Advertising and brand equity. Brand equity can create competitive advantage in non-price competition. It can also develop intangible assets of goods for giving, that is pricing, promotion, distribution and positive decision making. So, brand equity is a competitive advantage, that is, here you can think about quoting any price which is accepted in market, a price which is reasonably can be given by the customers. So, we do not have to compete with the other competitors in the market on price basis. You have reached a level where you can cash on your equity power. Advertising and brand equity. The brand equity is a special power of any service or product name because of its special position in the market through the fame of its name, sign and logo. There are many companies who are charging because they have a signature sign which is very powerful in the market. You can think about brands like Apple, you can think about brands like Amazon, which have the power of their word and the power of the status they carry in the market, where they speak about the technical advancement in terms because they are associated, the other companies become successful. Advertising and brand recognition. Brand equity is the power of brand recognition so that the customers can respond to marketing of that brand. It can enhance brand awareness, brand association, brand image, brand knowledge, brand loyalty and brand identity. So, the power of the brand is associated with the sales. Higher is the respect of the brand in the market, higher is the sales in the market, less is the effort to sell the product in the market. So, first we have to invest in the power of the brand and then we have to sell the product. Advertising and brand loyalty. Loyalty based buying decisions might turn into a habit. Brand awareness can enhance the brand memorization power in the customer's mind. Higher is awareness, higher is the considering for buying it. Your buying options are decided if the brand is associated in your mind, is associated, that is if you can recall the brand. If the brand is recalled and if you are loyal to brand, it becomes a habit of buying it. Advertising and perceived quality. Perceived quality is the consumer's judgment about a product's overall quality or superiority. The positive perceptions can create better relationships. Loyalty can create trust and belief. So, how we complement the brands, how do we perceive the brands in the market depends on the power of their advertisement. Advertisement is not only done to be remembered, but it is also done to create goodness in the market and to create goodness for the perception that the products are doing better for the society, where they are giving their profits for the betterment of the social values also. So, we need to decide on what the product quality is and how this quality can be sold in the market to earn profits where goodness can be given to the society. Advertising and brand properties. It increases the buying intention, creates a positive feeling, builds a vision. It develops the brand's domain, the brand image and the brand's private properties such as franchisee and the registration rights can earn, the trademarks can earn and the channel relationships can earn. So, if you yourself have become successful because your products are being accepted in the market and one market has accepted you, you can carry this model to the other markets not by going yourself there, but you can sell your rights, you can give franchisee, you can sell your trademark. So, this is also the power of the brands that people are investing and trying to run their franchisee by giving crores of rupees. And these channels are not run by the brand investors or the owners themselves, but they ask the other people to work on their models and give them the technical knowledge and allow them to sell the products in their name. So, this is a great option to increase yourself, and this power of the brand can impact not only the sales, but also impact your expansion and your ownership and your word and your identity in the market. Concave downward function for advertising budgets. The effects of advertising budgets follow the microeconomic law of diminishing returns. As the amount of advertising increases, its incremental value decreases. So, you cannot increase the advertising budget to the infinite levels or to the level which do not justify the sales figure. So, we need to think about how long we are going to invest in advertising. It follows the diminishing return, that is, if you are investing more in advertising, it will not give you many returns. So, we are going to justify till what level we are going to advertise and how much we are going to invest. Logic for downward function. People with greatest potential to buy will likely to act on the early exposures of the advertisement. Some customers will not change as a result of advertising. Potential buyers can be impacted by new information to change their decision. There is a segment of customers who would buy the products as soon as they see the ads. There are customers whom you cannot change, and the potential customers are very less. So, a brand now if it is touching to this level of segment has to go with a slow speed. Relationship between advertising and product cycle. On y axis we have sales and on x axis we have time. The information advertising is the introduction of the product. If a new model is given in the market, if it is advertised in the market, you have to build your advertising on information aspect, and here lot of money has to be invested because you are informing about the product's technical aspects. Then is the persuasive advertising. The product is growing in the market, now you have to persuade the customers to buy your product. Then as the product is already matured and established in the market, and then you have to give only a reminding advertising. Here the investment will be less because it is just the product is shown in a short span of time and with short description, because already the problems have been solved and the product is established in the market. Now, when we are studying the relationship between advertising and product life cycle is a good concept to study because products follow introduction, growth and a maturity and a decline phase. Every product which is launched in the market has a life cycle, because the innovation and the trend which is happening in the market would change the concept of the product acceptance. Initially the product when is introduced in the market is new and the customers are accepted, then the product gets established. So, here the advertising is just to persuade the customers and increase the market share, but after the product becomes old and it is not very attractive in the market, there is no use of advertising because now the customers are searching for something new. We are always looking for new designer clothes, new car models, new laptop models and new mobile models. So, we are also looking for innovation, we are also investing in things which are more trendy, which are more fashionable and more techno savvy and more specialized oriented. So, people will be leaving the products which are old. So, at this phase it is not good to advertise the product, and if you are investing in advertising, this is the product which have been left by the customers. So, it will not give you any results. We need to invest in new innovative products, and the innovative products come in the market because we have to search and we have to research and develop new versions, new models, new substitutes, give new services and create different segments where the product is accepted. So, the market constantly is changing for all kinds of products, whether it is food, clothing, automobile or technology. Everything which is desired and accepted by human society is modifying. So, advertising according to the product life cycle has to invest and work on research to give new options to people to buy. Now, let us study the summary of this lecture. Advertising expenditures can increase the sales of the company, but up to a certain level. The quantity will not increase in direct proportion to expenditures. The diminishing returns will be shown after a threshold point. So, advertising can increase sales, but the direct proportional investment of advertising to sales is not a definite solution in the market. For some products it can work, but sometimes even after advertising the products are not working well in market. That depends on the perceptions of the customers that the campaigns have been not successful, or if the campaigns have been successful, the quality of the product has not been able to convince the customers. So, it is a combination of campaign and quality and acceptance which works in the market. Even after all the variables are there, advertising will not show infinite results. After a threshold point, the advertising budget needs to be maintained and it has to be invested wisely, because new models can come in market, new substitutes can work in market, these needs to be advertised. We should not advertise products in the declining phase, because our money will be wasted, as customers already have left this and have moved to the higher versions of development and growth in society. Thank you, students.